Well, alright. This is this. Take one. Maybe take one. Maybe not. Okay. So, I don't know who needs to hear this. I really don't know who needs to hear this. But, stop being afraid. Stop being fearful. Stop running away from the truth. The most honest way to approach it, well, the best way to approach yourself is by hearing someone else being honest with themselves. So, chances are, I've just found you on this digital wasteland, as some people call it, then you need to hear this. And you need someone else to tell about themselves, so you can find some relatable points. Alright, this is just truth, like nothing but truth, basically. So maybe you have a lot of fears. I have a lot of fears. I had a lot of fears in me. Like a lot of fears about my family, about abandonment, about my friends, my future, well, my ex-friends, my future, and everything. And that just got me to the choke point where I wasn't able to proceed any further without looking into myself. And yeah, maybe you find yourself in that point right now. And yeah, I'm just here to tell you, like, there's nothing to be afraid of. All you gotta do is just metaphorically open yourself up naked and just be honest with yourself. So a lot of the fears I had of being abandoned was actually childhood trauma that caused that. My parents were not really kind to me as a kid. Right? I remember them telling me clearly that they're just doing this. They're just doing whatever they did. Providing me shelter and stuff like that. So I don't blame them in the future. And obviously that had the opposite effect. I just ended up blaming them, and at the same time being afraid to be abandoned, because they were giving me constant mixed signals, right? Like they're telling me that they're basically insinuating to me that they're just doing this because I'm their child. And then the next moment they're basically insinuating that they're doing this because they love me or something. Basically a hate, like mixed signal, like hate and love. And that just created this whole like push and pull in my mind. That basically that I was worthless, right? And yeah, this caused me a lot of trauma, and it turned me into straight up into a narcissist, because I could not believe in myself otherwise, right? Like I just have to constantly think that I'm better than everyone else, just because my parents constantly gave me mixed signals. And it just a lot of confusion, because I'm like, oh, they're my parents, like, so why should I like not like them, or why should I be afraid of them? But at the same time, they did put their hands on me. They did give me a lot of mixed signals and everything, and that created this fear to, like, fear to explore my trauma, fear to explore what I really want to do. And it just created this almost like Stockholm syndrome, right? Like, I just can't pull away from my parents just because they're my parents, but at the same time I want to pull away from them because they were not kind to me as a kid. And that lead me to like making a lot of like false friendships. I do have some true friendship, but I'm taking a break from them. I basically cut them off for now because they have to understand that they themselves also came from like a traumatized childhood. And yeah, I mean that it just takes time, and I'm just here to tell you that there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to fear. All you gotta do is just actually take the first step to open yourself up, like naked, metaphorically. Even though if you're alone in your room, you can literally go naked and meditate. It's your choice. But yeah, no, there's nothing to be afraid of. Just explore yourself, explore your deepest insecurities, because people, at the end of the day, right, your parents are actually, like, if they traumatize you, they are actually afraid of you. Like, there's no escaping from that truth. They're actually afraid of, what if they themselves are full of trauma, and they themselves are afraid of you for, what if my child looked past that trauma and then they actually don't like me, they actually abandon me. That's what they're afraid of. And it's your parents' constant projections to never, basically hoping that you never figure yourself out, so you stay with them forever. And it's not coming, okay, so maybe this video, it's a little bit over the place, but you gotta understand too, they don't come from a place of like what most people, like, conventionally, they don't come from a place of evil, right? They're not like, most of your parents are not looking to hurt you. They're not looking to do this or that. But they're just afraid of abandonment themselves. They're afraid of what you're afraid of. And if you just openly explore that trauma and that fear, then you realize that all this is just petty stuff. In fact, you'll get to the stage where you're very thankful for your parents, for who they are, and you can just move on and not put the blame on them, not put the blame on anyone else, because there's nobody to blame. There's nobody to blame, there's nobody to fear. So yeah, maybe this is just over the place, but if you're just listening to this, watching this or whatever, there's like zero thing to fear. Everything will be okay. And you can safely, very safely, explore your trauma. And yeah, when you figure everything out, you'll be thankful more than ever for everything that you have been through.